So here's what's alleged in the indictment. Jeffries and Smith employed James Jacobson to act as a recruiter to find men.
Ex-Abercrombie & Fitch CEO raped models during parties. So this is yet another incident. This is yet another instance of these creepy fashion industry Hollywood execs essentially preying on men who are coming through the industry and trying to make it in the modeling world, and then forcing them to get involved with other rich people. So when people talk about these conspiracies about Hollywood, creepiness and all this other stuff, a lot of it does happen, and this is an example of that. This is a man who's gay preying on other men.
Can I say something about Abercrombie and Fitch?
Oh, I thought you were going to say something different, but okay.
Can I say something gay?
Let's go.
Like, I remember back in 2014, I didn't know what Abercrombie Fitch was. I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I was on a trip to Banff, and I see a store with two dudes chiseled, just standing outside, just with pants, top off.
Trying to get you to buy their shit?
Just try to get you to go in the store. That's what they were doing. They were doing that. There was just two guys.
Real humans.
Real humans.
Alive.
I swear to God.
Not mannequins.
Not mannequins.
Gotcha.
Talking to people, one black one white one.
Okay.
And they were just standing there in their Abercrombie Fitch and Fish pants, topless, just
right.
with their chills abs and stuff like that.
And the question is, did you go inside?
No. Hell no.
Now the question is, do y'all believe it?
Wait a minute, bitch. Why would they not believe me?
All right.
No, it was so... That's cringe.
Yeah, that is.
Jacobson engaged in, quote, tryouts with men across the world where he would typically pay them to engage in sex acts.
Tryouts?
Tryouts is a really weird way to describe, like, how does your butthole feel? Would you say it's smooth, or would you say it's a bumpy, dark ride?
Jesus Christ. I just imagine a bunch of people doing track and field, waiting to go on the pole. But anyways.
You know what I think of? Like those interviews where they just got people in the waiting room, and there's just like a bunch of dudes sitting there. They're like, so are you here for the same? Yeah, my butthole's next. What about you? Great. I hope I get the job. I don't know.
When
such a fucked up way.
when you go to auditions and you see what the typecast is. You see what the cast is or what the typecast is. It's like, all light skin, all black people. Imagine this one where you go in and nobody's sitting down because they can't. Oh, you're here for the same thing too? Yeah, I'll just stand up. It's like, that's crazy. Oh my God, you guys are making fun of Grape.
Yeah.
To engage in sex acts with him. Following the tryouts with Jacobson, Smith would often then personally approve whether the men who were selected would meet Jeffries and Smith. The defendants would fly the selected men to Jeffries and Smith's homes in the Hamptons in New York City or to hotels around the world in such places as England, France, Italy, Morocco, and St. Bart's for the purpose of attending events to engage in commercial sex. But beyond simply hiring men for sex, Jeffries, Smith, and Jacobson used force, fraud, and coercion to traffic those men for their own sexual gratification.
Damn, I thought he was describing Andrew Tate for a second. Just saying. A lot of this stuff that you guys are like, yeah, get these Hollywood execs. Tate did the exact same thing with women through fraud. Just saying. But let's keep.
For example, as alleged, the defendants employed a referral system.
A referral system?
Inform the men.
Referral a friend?
I mean, so you have to imagine these guys who are doing this kind of sick shit, right? They're being paid good amounts of money, so they're probably being told, if you find other guys to come join us, we'll give you extra money. And the money's probably better than anything these guys ever seen.
God damn.
You're being flown out, you getting dogpiled, and you getting paid.
Ah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people who will be gay for pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And an interview process that did not inform the men of the details of the sex events before they attended, including the full extent and nature of the sexual activity that would be required of the men at these events. They caused the men to believe that attending these sex events could yield modeling opportunities with Abercrombie or otherwise benefit their careers.
Now, this particular point is something that we've all heard, right? Basically, a casting couch. That's what this is for models. This happens to men, this happens to women, this happens to all kinds of people throughout the industry who are trying to make it as models. And a lot of them get used essentially as porta potties, or they have to suck some rich dudes. A lot of them just double up straight up as escorts from their full-time modeling. Some of these fashion runways and stuff like that is just really an opportunity for the rich and the power. Why do you think so many of these like super rich and powerful people show up to some of these events? It's just so they can get the pick of the litter and pay the high exorbitant fees to get with some of the fashion models. That's what it is. So you ever notice when they have these parties, when they have these kind of fashion runways or whatever it is, how all of these models end up showing up on all these super yachts? Okay, they pay you.
Smith and Jeffries employed a secret staff to operate these sex events. The staff ensured that the men signed non-disclosure agreements and handed over their personal items, such as their phones, before the start of the events to maintain the secrecy of these events. The defendants caused the men to believe that not complying with requests for certain acts, sex acts, during the events could harm their careers. The defendants pressured the men to consume alcohol, Viagra, and muscle relaxants known as poppers during the sex events.
What you think they're trying to relax?
They're gonna make you relax all the right places and harder all the right ones too.
Yuck.
And they required the presence of staff during the sexual activity and ensured that the men did not leave the sex events until Jeffries and Smith decided that the sessions were over. Also, as alleged, on more than one occasion, Jeffries and Smith either directed others to inject or personally injected men with an erection-inducing substance for the purpose of causing the men to engage in sex acts the men were incapable of engaging in or unwilling to engage in. Additionally, the indictment alleges on more than one occasion when men did not or could not consent, Jeffries and Smith violated the bodily integrity of these men by subjecting them or continuing to subject them to invasive sexual and violent contact by body parts and other objects. As alleged in the indictment, Jeffries, Smith, and Jacobson didn't just carry this activity on for a couple of occasions. Their sex trafficking and prostitution enterprise lasted at least from the end of 2008 until early 2015. During that period, the defendants hired dozens of men and transported them to New York and around the globe. They spent millions of dollars on a massive infrastructure to support this operation and maintain its secrecy. This included hundreds of thousands of dollars of cash for commercial sex, prolific amounts of money for staff to run the sex events, money for domestic travel, international travel, hotel rooms, services from a security company, and Jacobson's salary, among other things. Now, this investigation remains ongoing. Although there are 15 John Does identified as victims in this indictment, this interstate prostitution venture encompassed dozens and dozens of men. And I encourage anyone with information about this case, including anyone who was a victim of the defendant's alleged crimes, to contact the FBI.
So there's some interesting little tidbits about this. One of the reasons why they're pressing charges right now is because they're worried about the statute of limitations on some of these crimes, things that are related to adult work or things of a more sexual nature generally have a statute of limitations on some of the crimes. Because I don't think they're charging them with the RICO for this in particular, but the charges are still incredibly serious as far as the trafficking goes. So, yeah, Cat Williams, once again, correct. This year has definitely been the year for big dick deviants to go down.
I don't know how he knows, but he knows.
Hey, listen, it's not about white or black. There's the good side, and there's that side. All right? But there's more. There's more of these people. And all this stuff about people, this is one of those conspiracies that I never thought was a conspiracy, just from the things that I'd seen from the industry myself. Okay? So hearing this stuff is not surprising to me because you can see the effects of that these kinds of operations have on some of the models over there. Like if you spend any time in LA, you know people who've been to these parties. if you've worked at least in like in the entertainment side of things, you've known people who've attended these kinds of events or seen some of this stuff, or seen a lot of people who are pay for play for a lot of the rich people. Okay, and the same way the Diddy stuff was an open secret for the people who are supposed to know, this kind of stuff is also an open secret. There's the boy toys. There's the models who give it up. They're on the cover of Victoria's Secret, and then on the weekend, they're on the yachts getting paid $100,000 to spend a couple weekends with the richest chick.
Yep.
Okay? So, this isn't surprising, but I do think it is good that there are federal charges coming against these people. These people will go to jail. The question is just how long. Or if they do cut a deal, it means that they're going after other people. So,
We'll see.
On which part?
Oh, on the rest and ramifications, because now they're just exposing that stuff, right? There's a whole bunch of people that have been through those parties and that were victims that are not saying anything. They're not saying anything because they think nothing can happen.
Yeah.
Now they have a chance of, wait a minute, if like the police know that they have a case, let me add to the evidence of what I have. There's a lot, because they made an open call. Yeah. At the end of that video, they made a call to action. Hey, if you or some people that you know been involved in this, let us know.
Yeah, because they know there's more people.
Yeah, they know there's a lot more people.
A lot of people who don't want to come forward because they have shame, trauma,
exactly,
or they took the money.
Exactly.
Right?
So a lot of them are gonna go. Oh, I signed this NDA. I took that money. I can't say nothing. Now, the police know that it's illegal. So let me just break all of that.
Or there's some people who hadn't done anything, but know a lot of information because they were there to witness, or they work security, or they kept a video, or whatever it is. It's on their conscience. They want a financial reward. There's a lot of reasons to do it this way. Look at Diddy. Diddy, since this thing, I think over 120 different people have come forward. Some of them frivolous, I imagine, but some of them very real.
Yeah.
In fact, I think there's like now underage discussions happening where 13 and 14-year-olds are alleging that at the time when they were 13 and 14, they were diddled by the diddler.
The diddler.
And one in particular was kind of concerning because one of them claimed that the diddler, another very rich and famous man, and another rich and famous woman, all three of them had their way with her while she was a child. And in the indictment, when you read it, their names are anonymous.
Yeah, anonymous.
And I'm like, why? Release it. We want to know who it is that's supposedly diddling. Why are we protecting
diddlers?
So that's one thing I did notice
of the world.
Yeah. But yeah, you're going to see a fallout from this stuff. And I don't know if this is, meaning that the State Department is going to make a real effort to go after traffickers. I don't know what all of this really means, but I'm glad it's happening. And I hope more of them do get exposed. So that's where we're at right now.
You want them to be exposed like models?
You know what I meant. Making an inappropriate joke.
You make them all the time.
Yeah, but you were the good one. You should have been better than me.
I'm not the good one. Neither are you.
The fans disagree.
It's true. I'm the good one.
There you go. All right. That's it for today.